Hey everyone out there, welcome to the conversation. It's Outspoken Opinionated. Of course, I am your host, Edwin Maya. It has been an amazing week. We're back with you guys. For those who didn't catch us last week, we're actually on Instagram. And we had a recap from last season. We had a recap from what I did in Liberia. But of course, it's February and we're back. First thing I want to tell you guys, if you are not subscribed, we need to go to YouTube. So go to YouTube and subscribe to The Conversation Outspoken and Opinionated. Also, we're asking you to go to Facebook, like us, all the good things that you guys do, like us, accept us, do all that great stuff on Facebook. We're also on Instagram. If you're following us, we are on Instagram, The Conversation with two N's and underscore. We want you to go and like us. We want you to go and follow us. We want you to go and comment on things that we put out there. That's what we do. Also, guess what? The Conversation is now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. Don't play with us, yeah. We're going. So I'm asking you guys to go follow us, join us, listen to us, see all the things that you can do. Like I said, we are on Facebook, The Conversation, Outspoken Opinionated. We are on Instagram, of course, The Conversation. Of course, definitely on YouTube. That's we're here. We are back. Live show with one of the amazing people I've met for the last couple of years. It's been great. The vibe is good. February, people are like, what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about love. So what the context behind this is basically, me and the team, of course, calling the village and are like thinking, what can we talk about? This a new season. I have been blanked. I was in Liberia. It was crazy. And so we said, we're going to talk about this. Say, well, let's talk about love. So none other than, I'm going to bring her in, my special guest for the night. I'm going to bring her in. She's going to tell you guys who she is, where she's from, what she does. So welcome. Can you hear me? Good. Welcome to The Conversation. This is where everybody can have a great time. Just talk. So if you can just introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff.
My name is Alia. I'm an educator. So I've been in education for over, 12 years now. And here to talk all about love and the different forms of love and how we need to show more of it, especially during this time when we're in this pandemic going on what feels like year 3.
You know what? You just said it. It actually has been 3 years, like
Mhm.
3 long years.
Long.
So February, of course, is the love connection. It's the love month. Everybody is so excited. There's this whole thing the culture has literally brought in. Let's talk about our love. So have you? So I don't want to ask you questions, but let's have this conversation. So have you ever been in love?
Absolutely. More than once. It's
Once?
not always requited love though.
Okay.
So that's a whole thing there.
Uh-huh.
So yes, absolutely. But when it has been reciprocal, beautiful.
Okay. Okay, well, I would say yes. I know I have. I think, and right now I am, and I've been before, and it's weird because I think for me, every time I fall in love, I fall harder than it was prior.
That's very different. A lot of people
Yeah.
would think, okay, I need to pull myself back or have more of a guard,
Oh no, I love love.
even when you get hurt.
Oh, yeah, even I've gotten hurt, but I'm just like I love to live in the moment and have a good time.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I think so. Why I say this because I think I have come to my wholeness. So I've done the work on me, based
Mhm.
on everything I'm supposed to do, and I've been able to come to my wholeness where I really appreciate myself, and so I just love. And so I don't know if you and wholeness. I don't know if there's something that you've experienced. What like for me, my wholeness was where I accepted me for who I was, accepted my flaws and all that good stuff. And so I think I gave myself the opportunity to really love harder.
So I would say for me, it's more of a constant work in progress where I see steps moving forward. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm doing well in this area. And then a lot of times I'm like, oh, I need to fix that. I need to go back and review some of that stuff and do that, continuously do that work. And I think that starts with a lot of self love. So if you don't have that, I feel like that's going to be really difficult to kind of bring someone else in. So it's really refreshing to hear that you fall harder every time, that you love with no bounds, and you just keep going no matter what, no matter how it ended up before. The
Yeah.
next person is a fresh slate.
Right. It's literally brand new. It's like
Yeah.
this person, I am a really direct person when it comes to being in a relationship. So I will let you know exactly what I want. How is it? This is what I want. This is why I'm here. And I just let you know.
No, I
And
love it.
so I think maybe that's why I would say it's worked for me in certain instances. And so um when we talk about redefine love, so have you since like I've been in and out of love. I would say maybe I ain't counting because I know them crazy people out here watching. I ain't
I don't
counting.
want to give you the number.
Yeah, I ain't giving no numbers. But let's so have you ever redefined that process for you?
um, so more recently, like looking at love as a whole, I used to think, oh, it's just romantic love. That's the thing that's the most important. But as we're in this pandemic and just going through, everyone's going through this collective, like, oh my God, when is this going to be over? I think that that friend love, that platonic love is just so ever present where you're just like, okay, if it's not going to be a romantic love, I can count on my friends. I can get the love that I'm not having um, in a relationship in a platonic way. So I think that that has been something that I think for everyone, like to know that you can depend on someone else and that they come through is super important. I feel like that's super important to me, especially right now. And I've seen it in other people where we're so isolated right now
Mhm.
um, that we're reaching out in different ways. Like even, the other night I was on a Zoom and it's just like, what are you going through? Because we're not supposed to be really meeting in person. Um, so that whole situation where it's like, I need you right now. I don't need anything else. I just need to talk. I just need to connect. So feeling that relationship love through or friendship love, all the ships has been super, super important for me. So I've redefined it in that way. Like it does not always have to be a romantic love. It can definitely be, a platonic love. It can definitely be a friendship love. Like you just need connection, especially at this point. And I also think
Mhm.
with Valentine's Day coming up next week, next in a week and a day,
Mhm.
um, that we haven't been doing a really good job at including everyone. I feel like it's very exclusive and we're just like, we're only going to focus on couples and not only couples, just heterosexual couples to be more specific. We
Mhm.
don't really give time or space for people that are, in same-sex relationships
Yeah.
or that are out here in uh, polyamorous relationships or single people at all or men in particular.
And I like that you brought that up because I think I want us to just stick around this process, stick around what you just said. I think society, culture, whatever it is, has put Valentine's Day as a woman's thing. So the men go out,
Absolutely.
buy the woman a gift, they got the teddy bears. Even when we're in high school, that day, I mean, it's like the kids are coming with balloons and stuff like that. And it's like a day that is really set aside for the female.
Hmm.
So what happens to the other person that's in a relationship? Then now what society has gone to, what happens to the homosexual couples, the same-sex couples, the man and man or the woman and woman? And then what happens to the people who are in tri relationships?
Right?
So you like this is a whole thing. And so I want us to really stick on that, but I really want to focus on the fact where you brought up, where you said, why is it that Valentine's is really focused on the women? What is about this? I don't, like
I
because
feel like
I just won't know. It's like a sentimental thing.
I feel like it goes even back to this saying of, happy wife, happy life. Like I don't really feel like it should be a one-sided relationship, a one-sided holiday. But I think it does go back to the, happy life, a happy wife, happy life situation, that whole term where the man's just supposed to shut up. What he wants doesn't matter. Be happy that you even have me. Um, and I think that's kind of the direction that Valentine's Day has gone in as well. So we say, oh, if you care about me, if you love me, you're going to shower me with gifts, with flowers, with chocolate. You're going to make a grand gesture. I'm at work. You're going to send me all these things. And I think that we need to move away from that. Um, we even Women even have a Galentine's Day, and I didn't know that was a thing. And then I started seeing it more, um, and just being like, what is this? Like,
Like,
we're
what's going on?
still, again, celebrating women, single women, but again, no space for same-sex couples, no space for, like you said, people in a tri-coupled or tri-relationship.
Yeah.
No space for single people, period, no matter what your status is. And we don't, it's like they're not even acknowledged. So it can be a very lonely experience.
And talk about lonely, I think it is a lonely experience, and I think I think it's so great. I'm not gonna say great, but I think it's such, we're in a great space right now where it's quarantine. So guess what? Everybody home. Ain't no movies open. If you're gonna go to the restaurant, you're gonna have your mask on. Like, that's what I'm saying. So everybody is restricted in some kind of way. So people who are single in this time, yeah, you know you're lonely by yourself, but you're the only one at home, because there might be a couple who they're probably like, we're not going nowhere. We're gonna order out. We're gonna order in. We're gonna stay in because nobody won't get COVID and stuff like that. So it has restricted all this stuff that's happening. And it's funny because I haven't really seen, all the stores are empty recently. Like, you go to stores, like they don't even have food, so they don't even have like a lot of chocolates and stuff going on.
Mhm.
But where did this, I don't know, that can this go? Because like what you said, and I think it's extremely important, I don't want to lose my thought, is the fact where women have this expectation. They have this expectation that, it's Valentine's Day, the guy is going to give me flowers, the guy is going to give me a car, the guy is going to do this, the guy is going to do that. And God forbid he does not.
Uh, I know it's a thing. So, um, I told you I'm an educator. There have been many times at
Mhm.
my job where this holiday comes around and we're at work, and I would see people who are married or couples, if they did not get a gift sent to work on that day, it was an issue.
Mm.
Oh, he's going to hear my mouth. Oh, I'm upset. I can't believe he forgot. Almost as if like the world was ending. Um, and I'm like, it's one day. And I guess for me, when I think about it, like if you're going to love somebody, I don't think of love as a noun. So, it's not like a thing, right? I feel like it's more of a verb, something that you actively do and that practice and that you show in different ways. So if I'm looking at love, I don't think it's a static thing. I think it's constantly changing, it's constantly evolving, and it should grow. Um, and that being said, I think if you just limit it to one day, you're going to be very disappointed because maybe your person or people don't show love in that, you know, gift giving way. Maybe they're more of an acts of service person, or maybe they're a words of affirmation person. So I think it's really important that you kind of figure out what your love language is and then kind of redefine how you see love and make sure that you and your partner or people or person, um, that you guys are on the same page so you don't get super excited and want things and then feel totally deflated if they don't come through.
So I like to put myself out there. I am not the Valentine's guy. I am not. I am not the
Mhm.
one that's going to buy flowers. I might do something. I might get you a gift and say, hey, um, you know, happy Valentine's Day. I might get you a gift. Yeah,
It's another day. I got you a gift. Be happy.
I try to work on my words so I can deliver real good. But I'm not the person that's gonna go all out. And so it has been a struggle for me as a teenager, as an adolescent, and now as an adult. It's been a struggle for me because it hasn't been thing for me. I'm just like, it's a freaking day. Why does this day define our relationship?
Mhm.
So because I'm the kind of person, the way how I think, now my thought process is, so how do you think about you? What is your self-love? If you
So
if you feel that a gift or a little gesture tells you that I'm in love with you, I'm confused. So what is this?
I I really can't identify with Valentine's Day on that deep level. As far as the gift giving thing, I have seen people just lose it when they don't get that gift, and I really think that has something to do with um, almost being performative, like you want other people to see how much you're loved instead of just knowing that this person or whatever your relationship is strong enough that you don't need to have these things, right, to show that the person cares for you. Um, I think that gift giving is great. I'm never going to say, no, don't gift me up. Don't gift me up. But I think that there are things that show love in a deeper way. Um, you know, knowing that someone has your back and you don't have to ask, right? That you need something, they just kind of rise to the occasion. It's not something that they even think about. It's just something that they do. So they move in that acts of service type of love, or just even the words of affirmation, breathing that life into you, breathing love into you consistently. Because, like you said, Valentine's Day is one day out of
4 hours.
365 days.
And you're not even awake for 24 hours.
Right.
So
Even
let's get you 12. Let's get you 12. Not going 12. Because
even
probably
the flowers die. The flowers die.
so I tell you, flowers get on my nerves.
What? You don't even
Because
use them to decorate the house?
it dies. It dies. I'm like, it's gone. Can I get you something tangible? So I would tell you, the person I'm dating right now, they fuss with me all the time because guess what? They're like flowers. So they literally have to remind me I like flowers. Did I have to buy flowers? Because I'm just like, it's gonna die.
Aw.
Why,
But
what?
that's something that they like, right? So at least they're
Yeah,
telling you, right?
so let me say that I am working on me so I can be a better person when it comes into that department when it comes to love.
Mhm.
I think I have grown to be more affectionate, because I never had none of that. I never literally showed none of that. I think through my working on me and through going through my own stuff, I've been able to, okay, so, like you said, you talked about the love languages earlier. And so I
Yeah.
don't go off that. And I think that's important because everybody needs to know their love language and they need to try to understand their partner love language.
Mhm.
Because what I have noticed is I know my love language, and that's what I consider as love. So when I am professing my love to you, I show mine, I do mine because according to me, that's what love is. And so
That's what counts, right?
exactly, that's what counts. So people, so I am acts of service. I do love gifts, so I'll give you a gift, like a tangible gift, because at the end of the day, like I said, my acts of service and my gift work hand in hand. Because when you give me a gift, it's not the gift; it's a thought.
Mhm.
You went out and you bought me a gift. So
You
that's
thought about me.
thought about me when you were doing this. So that's how mine work in. So it's just I'm just like it's a day. Like why
You're so
it is?
you're right. It's a day. But I like how you came back and you said, when I'm professing my love, I go into how I would want to be loved and
Mhm.
I give that to the person. And I think that's even hard to escape, right? Like saying, okay, this is how I want to be loved. So these are the things that I'm going to do. You don't even notice that you do. It's almost like you're on autopilot. And then the other person, you totally miss their love language instead of saying, oh, well, my partner my partner's love language is gift giving through flowers or whatever their love language is, because you're like, oh well, this is how I show love. They should know how I show love. This is me showing that I care.
For sure. taking me out of my comfort zone.
Right. Making me uncomfortable, and I gotta get comfortable with being uncomfortable out here. It's
Exactly.
wild.
Go looking for flowers. What's that? Please. But I think it's important that people really, really get that you have to know your partner's love language, because in order for that person to say, hey, you love me, it's for you to do the things for them or to them that they consider as love. So it's weird
Absolutely.
because you were like you read articles or you read stuff or you're watching and people say, oh, that person don't love me. And you be like, they don't do all that stuff for you. How you gonna say they don't love you?
Right? You come home to a cooked meal after a hard day. They don't love you?
It's a good, everything is fine. We say, but you don't love me. What do you mean I don't love you? Well, because I get no physical touch. We don't bang every night. I'm like, what? You crazy?
I'm tired when I get home, but
You
I've
know,
been doing
right?
other things for you.
And
I've been doing other things for you.
I think that's what it is, because now both people aren't understanding each other to know that you have your love language, I have mine. So
Right.
in order for me to be fulfilled, in order for my love thing to be fulfilled, you have to give me mine, and in order for me to fulfill yours, I gotta give you yours. And I just for a side note, that's why I like this verse that people always used to say, wives to submit to the husband, and if they go prior,
Mhm.
husband, love your wife as Christ loved the church. Wives, submit to your husband. It works together. In order for this woman to submit, this man need to love. In order for this man to love, his wife needs to submit. Period. There is no if but in between. That's how it works. And I
Oh
think
man.
that goes into every relationship, whatever relationship people are in, homosexual, heterosexual, whatever it is. In order for that person to show you love, you have to tap into their love tank, and they have to tap in yours for you guys to fully understand and enjoy that love that you guys have.
Right. You have to give, it's that give and take. Like you can't push and pull. Like you guys have to come together. Like it is absolutely crazy to think this is how I show my love, and this person should just accept it and get over it if they don't want to be with me.
Oh, 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 oh. So it's static. It's static. Well, guys, of
Language.
course, yep.
Uh-oh, I think I lost. Okay, you're
No,
back.
you but
Did you
we
hear what I said?
no, we did not.
Oh, I said I think it's absolutely crazy that some people think, you know, this is how I show love, and won't adjust to their partner's love language, right? So if this is how I show love and you can't get with it, oh well. So I think you're absolutely right. There's that give and take, that submission in any relationship, that if you don't tap into your partner's love language, you're really not, meeting your partner's standards.
Yeah. And I think that's extremely important, because if we like we the entire conversation is focusing around redefining love, and how you redefine love for you and the other person redefine love for them. And I think that's the same important, because what we also need to understand is that for you to even experience this love that you are talking about, that I am talking about, that everybody else is looking for, you need to love you. How you gonna be able to love somebody? How you gonna be able to show somebody how to love you if you can love you?
Right. You're gonna have a lot of hurt feelings.
That's
You're gonna
for
hurt yourself. You're gonna hurt somebody else.
exactly. You're gonna hurt 5, 10, 20, 30 people, because guess what? You're still looking for this love, but you don't even love yourself. You have no
Absolutely.
connection with you. You have nothing going on. And I think when it comes to loving yourself, and that's why I say I think if God helped me and whatever, my friends and people around me, has been, who are you?
And that's important.
Like, who are
If you don't do that work, you're gonna, just like you said, almost like it is almost like this virus. You just breathe on people and it's just messing everything up. So the more people that you come into contact with, that you're trying to have these deep relationships with, you continue to hurt them. And then they go hurt someone else because they've been hurt. And it's just a cycle that continues on.
And it's because I feel it's like, people have to accept themselves. I think love is extremely messy. I don't think love is a beautiful thing. It's beautiful in the when you work on it, but
Mhm.
love is messy. It's grimy. It's dirty. It's died to self. It's uncomfortable. It's a lot of things that you have to do. And my personal definition of love, I don't think love is a feeling. Love is a decision.
Mm,
Mm.
I
Whether you,
like that.
it's a decision.
I like that. It's
I
like a
don't think it's
choice
a
that you
feeling.
made that you're committing to.
Yeah, exactly. You have decided to be with this person. You have decided to say that, you know what, I'm gonna be in a committed relationship with this person. I'm gonna forsake everybody else, and I'm falling in. I've fallen in love with this person. I feel it's a decision. I don't think it's a feeling. I leave it with you. What's your thought on it?
I think that you're absolutely right. Like I said, I feel like it is a verb. It's an action. It's something that you do. Even on the days that you don't feel like it, this person's getting on your whole last nerve and you just have nothing good to say about them, but you continue to show up because this is the person that you love, right? And that you're committed to. And like you said, you've forgotten about everyone else. You canceled them. You said, you know what, lose my number. I have my bae now. And I don't think love is flighty.
Mm.
Uh, I think it should be steady and it should be consistent. And if you don't have consistency and if you don't have that steadiness, then you're in like, you're not in love.
And I think that's why people don't understand when there are people who are in relationship where they're getting hurt. I would cancel abuse. We're gonna abuse. We're not gonna do that. But where there are people in relationships where they get cheated on, they do stuff, and they stayed in it for some time. And the day they're ready to get out, they get out because it's like I'm gonna be here. They have made conscious decisions. Like there's so much at stake, but I love this person and I'm gonna be here for this person. And it wait,
Mhm.
wait and wait and wait and wait, and when the day they're tired, they leave. Do they love? Do you mean that's why when people say, I said, did the love die? People don't get married to get a divorce. That's
No,
not
they definitely don't.
they make a decision. You're crazy. I'm crazy. We can't be together. We're gonna kill each other. Let's go. Move along.
That's hard to
Move along.
recognize. You don't know somebody's crazy till you see them when you live with them, right? You're like, wait a minute, hold up, stop.
And this is you just brought up something because I won't say this, and I know I got some people who are watching and they're gonna not like this, but I tell you, doing this again, I'm living with you before we get married.
Right? I
I
think that is such a thing. I
that
need to see what kind of crazy.
that thing is like I realize that it is extremely crazy. Like I'm
Mhm.
sorry, I know there are people who believe in that. I know there are people who are extremely their culture with the church. This is what the Bible says. I'm happy for you guys. But me personally, I did it. And I really think if my ex-wife and I lived together before we got married, we're not going to get married. Because it
You
was,
saw some things, huh?
like, and I'm crazy. I'm hard to live with. Like I ain't gonna, my siblings they would tell you I am the hardest person to live with. My family. I have mood swings. I don't like to be bothered. I don't want to talk to nobody. Just leave me alone. How you
No,
gonna do that?
I identify with that. Like, I do think there is something to living with someone before you get married or before you move to any next step, engagement, whatever it is, because you really need to see how this person acts. I know people in my life that have a whole representative for months, years, and then you live with them and you find out, whoa, what is going on with you? Because this whole time you've been dating or in this courtship, they've been pleasantly peachy. Nothing bothers them. They're always happy. Y'all have never argued. You don't even know their argument style. You don't
Oh,
know if they take digs at you. You don't know if they're going to show up at your house and act crazy in front of your neighbors. Like, these are things you need to find out. And you can only really find out when you live with the person. You don't even know their level of hygiene, right? Because
that's important.
you
That's
you've
really
been just
important.
meeting them in public, or they've been coming over your house and you've been coming over their house, but it's a planned thing. You didn't just show up. But when you live with someone, you can see it all of it.
You speak. getting up and going to sleep. That part.
Hmm.
And but that's why I think society and culture has robbed us of the real meaning of love. And that's why now we have to redefine what love is for us individually, because love on TV, it's like, oh my God.
Takes your breath away.
Like, oh my God, this is what it's supposed to be. Like I remember growing up, it was the guy with the long hair and the blue eyes on the horse and kind of super like that was it.
Fabio
There you go. You see you see
had the long hair and he was muscular and he was,
on the horse and there you go. And for you're like,
and all the women, oh my God.
oh my God, he loves her. I'm like, no, he don't. Like, why is that love? And so I just feel it's like they have robbed us of what love is. And so it's funny how when people who have been married or people who have been together for 15, 20 years and they get a divorce and they be like, how they get a divorce? And people are going, I'm like, what do you mean why they get a divorce? They showed you what they wanted you to see.
Mm-hmm.
No access to what was going on behind closed doors.
Whole representative out here.
There was a whole different thing going on out here. And that is why when someone tells me that they're in a relationship and they don't argue, oh, that's a problem for me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I need to see
I'm
how
like,
you argue.
two different individuals from two different walk of life, from two different families. Then let's put two different cultures. Then let's put, and you say, y'all don't argue, so what y'all do? Or they say, we just have conversations. So,
No,
man,
I need to argue with you because I need to see how it's going to be.
because
I'm not saying it has to be all the time.
I'm going to slip a pocket knife out of your pocket and slip my throat.
I need to see how crazy you get, right? I need to see if we can argue and then go back to normal. Because if we can't,
And
it's not going to work.
that's me. So I'm the person where when I say what I have to say, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who don't. I don't be with people who can hold it for 2-3 weeks. And I'm like, you crazy, you can kill.
That's a deep wound for them. I think for me, like when I argue with someone, I try to get it all out. But then I sometimes get off whatever it is, like whether it's in person or on the phone, and then I'm just like, and I should have said this and I should have said that. And then the next day, I'm like, calm your ass down. You need to calm down.
That's why I say what I want to say.
That's right. I will be so in the moment and then get off the phone, still be pissed off. And be like, I should have said that's what I should have.
If I say what I wanted to say in person and I leave, I send you a text message. Like literally, I poke the bear. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh no.
I am the bear poker. I will find out everything. I know how you get upset. I know the things that make you upset, everything, because I want to know you.
Mm. So you've been studying this person. You know what's going to piss them off.
Exactly. The only thing I don't like is arguing in public. Because
it's so embarrassing.
Yeah, it's very embarrassing. I don't care how little the argument is. Like I was shut down. I'm like, I'm not doing this here. But baby, when we get in that car.
If you do anything to me in public that is embarrassing, let me tell you how I will pretend like I don't even know who you are. We came together, but we're not leaving together, baby. I will hop a Uber. I will split the check. I will leave you right there. You're not going to get loud and crazy with me. I'll leave. You're not embarrassing me in public. It's just not. And if you like in my love language, if you love me, you know that. Because you start acting crazy, we might have to break up. That's too much for me.
And you see, and that's why when we talked about love, because I feel it's like when I said earlier, if you say, like, we have to define what love is for us, and you've defined it. These are barriers for me. This is a healthy, it's a boundary. Like, what's the word? No, it's not boundary, it's not barrier. There's a word that you use. I forgot. But anyway, you can't cross that line. That is a no-no for me.
Yes.
Don't do that.
It's so, when I see people do it, I'm looking at them like, oh my God, how can y'all do this? And it's bad because it's also like a form of judgment, right? But I don't care. Do not do that to me. I will leave the whole situation. You can scream, Alia, Alia. I will act like I have a whole new name and act like you are not there. Just like we met, just like I didn't know you before, I don't know you now. You acting crazy? I will slam, act like I don't even know who you are.
My issue is cursing.
Mm.
I don't like for people to curse at me, especially when I'm in a like if you're Jim or John off the street, we can curse. But
Mhm.
if we're in a relationship and you like the littlest like the S word sets me off. When I say set me off, I can go from 0 to 25,000 in like.
Can you give me an example?
Let's say we're out. Let's say we're eating, right? Okay, and we're having an argument or something. You say, oh, shut the fuck up. Excuse me?
Yeah, that's no problem.
Or what you're talking is bullshit. Like, don't use any curse word. But for me, it's like you're an adult. You have no other words in your vocabulary. You have to curse at me, or we're gonna have problems. And I'm gonna tell you right there. Now, don't curse at me.
Do not curse at me.
Don't curse at me because you won't see where this can go. It can go.
I can see your full range of crazy right now coming all the way out.
Like I see, like I see black. I have zoned out before, and I really went in. And after that, my friends was like, "Oh my god, like it was not that serious. Why did you do other that? You tried me
You
because
knew what I told you I didn't like, and
I
you went there
told you I
anyway.
don't like that. Don't do it to me." So, and
Mhm.
people don't understand. That's what we're talking about redefining love. In love, there are triggers. There are triggers, and you have to know certain things about your partner because there are certain things that will trigger your partner, and that's how people kill people.
Absolutely. And I'm always watching those shows. I'm
That's why
always watching shows like that. Like this person had a whole breakdown, didn't tell you about this. You weren't paying attention, and they were plotting your death. You should have been paying attention.
so somebody said most people that argue in public or let it out professionally in public have some of the most peaceful relationships behind closed doors. Great.
Good
I
for them.
applaud them. I love them. I think that is good. My love and my relationship that I have defined for me, that doesn't work.
It sure don't.
If you think if I said something while we're out that wasn't right, babe, I really don't like what you say right now. Can you not say that again? Because and then when we get home or we get in the car, you need to let me know what I said. And because the main thing, we need to respect people where they're at and how they feel in that moment. So in that moment, what I said made you upset. You need to let me know. So I need to change.
Don't wait. Don't hold it in.
Don't hold it in.
Okay, so what if you're out with a group of people and your partner says something disrespectfully to you? Would you tell your partner in front of everyone, or would you I would send them a text?
So I have sent a text before. I have
Be outside.
I have sent a text and said, "Can you meet me outside? Or can you meet me in the bathroom?" Or I have said, I have just like played it off, and you see my facial expression, and like I've done different things. I have said, and then there are times where I'm just like, "Excuse me," like you're talking to me. And so it's been like, but I think like for me right now, the relationship I'm in right now, it's that we've gone to different levels where it's just like we understand, we know, like I know, and like we know when
Mhm.
something is up. Like okay, I've been mind my business, shut my mouth, cause you about
Right
to
now, before it gets live.
get it, you about to get it. And so I think it's and that's why when we're talking about redefining love and working in our space of love and putting love in our spaces, like now you have created your love bubble and you and your partner know exactly what is love, what is not love. Because for me, you screaming at me and cursing at me in public, that's not love. Because that's what Johnny off the street gonna do to me. And I'm gonna try to deal with Johnny off the street.
Right. I don't want to treat you
I'm
like
gonna
the
treat
average Joe.
the people off the street. Because trust me, I can go there.
and we're gonna all be embarrassed.
We're all gonna be embarrassed. The whole
We
restaurant,
might even be on the news.
we're gonna be like the whole damn Real Housewives, flipping tables, throwing drinks, all that shit. We won't do that.
See?
Yeah, and so that's where I feel was just like that we talked about earlier, where we said about people need to experience self-love. You need to love yourself. You need to really, really appreciate yourself for who you are. You need to accept you. Because once you start to accept you and accept, like, this is me, this is who I am. I don't like people to curse at me. So I'm gonna let these people know, don't curse at me. I don't like it. You know, you have accepted you, you know your triggers, you know the things that will set you off. And you'll be like, okay, that's me. I'm a little crazy, but I'm okay. You know, I'm good. I'm good. And you got that in place. And so that's why when I was looking, you know, doing the research for this show, the person who helps me out sent me the types of love.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first type of love that we talk about is philia, which is the friendship love. Philia is a friendship love. So do you have that friend that you can say, you know what, he or she, that is my ride or die? That we can have deep conversations where like I can take out my gut to that person and there is no judgment.
I do have a couple of friends like that. I'm so appreciative because sometimes I know I'd be saying some crazy stuff and they're probably like, what is wrong with you? But I don't feel judged by them. I feel like I could say anything and they would, even if they don't understand, they're still there. So I really do appreciate that friendship love. It's rare to come by because sometimes you say things and you can just see it on someone's face that they're just like, what? And I think it can make you feel judged. And I think when people feel judged, they don't want to share, they don't want to give more. And it can really change the trajectory of your relationship with that person.
Yeah, and I think for me, like I have really close knit friends. Like I have friends that I can be vulnerable with. They've seen my tears. I've seen their tears. We talked about things that people really don't talk about when it comes to friendship, and we don't judge. Like I can tell my friends, like when I was in the street, when I'm like in the street before I got committed, like I can tell my friend, like
you out here,
I was in the street. And it's like, you can tell your friend, like, shit, I went out last night. I did. And there is no judgment. They're just like, okay, but you need to calm down. You need to take time. Did you protect yourself? Did you do this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have those friends, and you can tell them your gut feeling. Like, when you are going through stuff, you can tell them. And I think it's like, and that's why I was saying earlier, if you don't have those regular friendship, because people need to understand love is in every relationship. Every relationship, you have to experience love with your parents, with your friends, with your co-workers. Everything has love. There's a level of love in every relationship. And so for me, like you said, we experience that with our friends. Like I love my best friends. Like I love them.
Right. If anything happened to them, you will lose it.
People are, you don't mess with it. Like you know, and that's my friends. They always say, you are such, like I'm a loyal friend. So I would say this. I'm not the kind of friend where if my friend have an issue with somebody else, I'm gonna get in that issue. I'm not gonna get in that issue. But let's say if I'm in the space and my friend is being disrespected by whoever they have an issue with, I'm going to check.
Correct it.
There needs to be some correction right there. If my friend is doing something where I know it's wrong, I'm going to hold my peace. I'm not going to say nothing, but when we get together one-on-one, I'm going to let you know. Now, I love you dearly, but you fucked up. Now, you need to go fix it. You need to call that person or go to that person and you need to apologize.
I feel like that's such a fine line because not everybody wants to hear about themselves.
And that is my problem. Just that's when you know that friendship is not a good friendship. Because I gotta let you know when you mess up. I'm sorry, I love you to death. You are my buddy. We go, but you just messed up, and you need to fix that. Because guess what happened? You can't be bringing that kind of energy in our group,
right?
You need to fix that. And
you need to fix it because you might turn around and do it over here, and we can't have any of that.
Don't do that. So you need to fix it. And I think in my circle of friends, that's what we do. Like we will let you know, like, sir, ma'am, love you, but yeah, you kind of mess up right there. Can you fix that? Get it together. And so I think it's like everybody needs to have that kind of love.
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, and then you do see people that don't have that and they have this surface level friendships, and you're like, oh, you're friends with everybody, but nobody really knows you, right? Um,
Mm.
so you may be the life of the party, but when all that's over, who
Who-
can you talk to? Who can you go to?
And and then it's funny you brought that up because it's weird how people who you're like you said, life of the party, they're everything that's going on, their life is great and every kind of stuff. And then you realize that that person exhibit no sign of love.
They're a very lonely person.
I'm like, what are you okay? Like what's like that's me. And like people always say, like, why are you trying to get in people's business? I don't want to, I just want to, are you okay? Like, are you fine?
You want to do a check-in. Are you straight?
Yeah,
Like, is it okay
everybody
over
I do that. You know, when I say how are you and people say okay, I'm like, no, how are you?
there?
Like, how are
You
you?
go Oprah on them.
Yeah.
Iyanla, how are you?
How are you, honey? So like, you know I'm so I think and that check-in it's important because when you need to like the people you are in love with or the people who you do care for, the people who you do show some sort of love to, you need to check them. How are you doing? Like what's going on? And so like another form of love, which is the what I call it, it's the STORGE. And they say it's familiar love between parents and children. And that's something I think we're probably going to talk about for a little bit. I don't date people. I've dated somebody who had no parent and child relationship. Like, and the funny thing is, both of their parents were married. They were born and raised in the two household parents, but there was no relationship. It
The
was
parents didn't have a relationship?
the person I dated didn't have a relationship with their parents. It was
Ain't
weird.
that
And I was like, well, I live half of my life with my mom, then I live some time with my dad. My whole life, my parents are not together, but I got a relationship. Your parents were in that? None. Zero. It was like a contract. And I saw how that played in our relationship because everything was contractual. It was you do this for me, I do this for you.
like a transactional
Yeah,
relationship?
exactly. If we go out today and you pay for the meal, next time we go out, I'm gonna pay for the meal. Like that's how it was. And I was like, what is this? Like, if I take you out, that means I'm paying for the meal. You don't
Right.
you don't need to pay. And let's say we go out and you decide you want to pay, you like, why are we doing this? But I realized that was basically worked on because that's how they didn't have a parent relationship, and so everything was transactional. And so I bring that up to say I just feel it's like so imagine you dating somebody and that person bring that into the relationship.
It's a stressful
Like,
situation
like I tell you, it was extremely stressful.
because you're basically taking note of what each other does. Like, you paid for this dinner, or I paid for the movie last time, and it can cause probably a lot of heated arguments.
I had somebody brought it up. I cash app your money because you're not going to tell me who went to the movies and you paid this and blah. No, 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 no.
We're not going to get into an argument and you're like, I paid for the last 4 dates. What have
Exactly.
you been doing? Oh, man.
Can you send me the bill? Because I can send you your money. Because trust me, every time I go out, I have my money just in case.
Right? Because you're not about to hold it over me, buddy.
No, you're not. And I think, but then so somebody just said something. They said when you have an authoritarian parent, relationships with them is rare. Can you define authoritarian parent? Because I'm from Africa, and I think every African parent is authoritarian. Right.
So when I look at that, I very much have experience with that. Is what I say goes. There's no talking about it. Um, so that parent is very, this is how it's going to be. No, you don't have an opinion. No, I don't care what you think. Get with the program or you're going to have a problem.
But
There's no talking. There's no conversation. There's no, well, I think,
But I think so. I would say this for me, coming from so I'm Liberian, West African. I think West African parents are like that. I think even Jamaican parents. I think Black parents from down south, they're like that. I'm the parent, you're the child, but there is still a relationship. If your parent is I can't even pronounce the word authoritarian,
authoritarian.
and they are like a general on top of you, telling you this is how it's going to go, this is how it's going to be. At a certain age in your life, do that die down, or do you move out of it? Like, I don't know, because I don't feel it's like both of my parents, they're like, my dad was strong. He was a strong willing man. My dad is extremely strong. He has a strong opinion, but he also gave us the opportunity to have opinions. So he always asks you, but my dad was the kind of person where you just don't come to him stupid. So when you come with an argument, you better have your facts and stuff together, because
Because he's going to challenge you.
will challenge you. So it wasn't he gave us opportunity to say what we had to say, but at the end of the day, he was still the parent. And so you guys can have a little scuffle. At the end of the day, his way is still going to go. So I don't
So for me, I was raised in a single family, single parent household. Pretty much what my mom said was what we were going to do, right? So now that we're older and nobody lives in the house and she still tries to do that. And it doesn't work, even though that is her go-to. Well, you should do this. Well, why? Because I said so. But it doesn't really work as you get older. And I think in with some people, they still have that fear of their parent. If you look at certain cultures, you know, even as someone who's like 50 years old, well, my mom wants this or my dad prefers this. So they'll bend to their parent, even though they're a whole grown person with life experiences, because they still don't want to disappoint their parent, or this is how their culture shows honor to their parent. Regardless of whether they agree with it or not, they're never going to challenge their parent. Uh, for me, I feel like I'm a whole adult, so I'm going to do what I want. So you can keep talking about it, but I'm still going to be making moves. So you can be upset about it. You can feel your feelings, but while you're doing all that feeling, I'm still moving forward.
But isn't that what we talked about earlier when we said everybody exhibit their love language? So your parents love you the way how they were treated,
Hmm. How they were treated, how they were loved.
loved, exactly. So I had to come to the place, like me and my siblings, we have this conversation all the time, especially my sister. We are three boys and a girl, so we have a sister. We'll talk about this all the time. My dad showed us love based on what he knew what love was. He parented us the way how he knew he was parent. And so that, and I think it goes to our mothers and everything. Like, your mom is gonna show you love the way she was shown love. Sorry,
Right.
but you also need to step in a place where you understand this. So where is my mom coming from? Because you're gonna have kids too. Wherever where you have
We're
kids,
going to see about that.
and we're gonna see how you're gonna be. Because sometimes I've got to check myself. I'm like, damn, I'm just like my mom. When I do some stuff to my son, I'm like, okay, calm down.
I
So
did see that. I see that now. I teach. So I, I'm like, wait a minute. Well, Miss Bay, why did you wait a minute? Wait a minute. And they
who
would call me to the carpet. I gotta reverse it. I'm like, you know what? That's right. You should tell. I told the kids one day, um, you need to be more careful about what you say. You can't just be putting your whole life out on the front street. And they busted out, well, you know what? You're always telling us to speak our truth. So which one is it? I was like,
my son said it.
wow, wow.
My
They're
son,
absolutely right. You
yeah,
need to be consistent.
My son is extremely outspoken, and so he says exactly what comes to his head. Boom. And I got to tell him, I said, you don't have to say everything. He said, but daddy, you say I should say everything. I'm like, okay, I get it. But some stuff, can you just say in my ear? Like, don't say it out for people to hear it.
Let
And
me filter it for you.
and I think it's I think and that's the level of love, and I think that's a level of love as well. It's like love when we read, like that's the love you created in your classroom where the kids are able to say what they are to say. So there's a level of love in the classroom. Now you want to like put a line of demarcation, like no, Miss Bay, we're not going to do that today. You said we
Yeah,
should.
they really won't let me at all.
Yeah, but what a type of love that is always exhibit, people talk about it, is the eros, the eros, which is the romantic physical infatuation and physical pleasure. And so this is this romantic love that I think people mistake it for love. And I call it lust. And so we got a couple of minutes. I told you it's gonna be like 20 minutes. We got 5 more minutes left.
I know. I feel like we're just getting into it.
And this is what happens all the time. I think people have this infatuation of being in a relationship. They are so dying to be in a relationship. They're so much in love. Oh my God, he loves me. He took me to Gucci and bought me this and that. And I have this friend. When they tell you that the person loved them, oh, he bought me a handbag. I'm like, okay, he bought you a Gucci bag, girl. He gave you the cash too. $100 in the whole purse just for you. And for them, it's like that's love. And so for me, I say, and then after that, what? Like,
Because you're gonna want the next thing. It
yeah,
never stops. You're always gonna want whatever's new, and things are constantly coming out. What are you gonna do?
what we're gonna do? This relationship is not gonna be about stuff. And so you have all this stuff and all this stuff and all this stuff, and then you realize at the end of the day, it's not fulfilling. So that is my thing. I think, and I'm just gonna give it out to you when it comes to the eros stuff, when it comes to attraction and stuff like that. I would say it from a guy perspective. When a guy sees somebody that they like, the first thing we see is what we see in front of us. Face.
I feel like that's everybody. You
Yeah,
can't see somebody's heart.
I'm just gonna say it from a guy perspective. I ain't never been a woman, so I can see it from a female perspective. But that's what we see. And so you go after that, you're attracted to that. So physically, yes. And then when you get to realize that certain things is not genuine, you roll out. Well,
Absolutely. So I think even for women, it's physical. I mean, nobody walks around with all the great things that they are on the outside. No one can see, how you're going to treat them just by looking at them, right? And we're visual creatures, so we're always looking at people. That's the first thing you see. You see the person? Do they have nice eyes? What does their skin look like? They got all their teeth? Oh, shucks. This might be a winner. They're not slap bodied. So I think in the beginning it is very much like, oh, they're very attractive. But then once, like you said, once you get to know them, how do they speak on the people in their life? How do they treat people in their life? How do they treat themselves? Who are the people that are closest to them and why? And I think it weeds out a lot. It either can bring you closer or it can drive you further away.
Well, it's been a great conversation. I love how this love talk went. I really appreciate it. But I know you're doing something. There's something coming up that you're about to do. And so, can you just tell these people? I want you to tell the people how to follow you on whatever social media platform you're on. And then, what is, because you're doing this love thing that's coming up. And so, can you just tell the people who are watching how they can contact you and get involved with this thing that you're doing?
Absolutely. So I am hosting a Lovers and Friends Sip and Paint. It is all virtual. It will actually take place next Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find me on @Bezos on Instagram. And I have the link in my bio so that you can register on Eventbrite. I send all the materials to you. So the canvas, the paints, the brushes, everything that you need comes in that kit. Leading up to the event, I send you facts about love. I tease the playlist for you. And I will also send you a cocktail, a mocktail and a cocktail. So There are some people that don't drink, and that's okay.
Liquor people, y'all hear that?
But
Liquor.
I'm gonna be drinking.
You know?
And the playlist is fire. So the playlist is something that I definitely think that you're gonna love. Lots of old school, some new stuff, a lot of R&B, some throwbacks, some classics. And I, at the very end of the sip and paint, I guide you through the painting. You know, we drink, we laugh, we joke. It is for single people. It is for couples. It is for everyone. You can bring your kids if you want. Um, and it's from the comfort of your home. So you really don't have a reason not to be there. And there's me, like, what? I send you everything. It's a good time. At the very end, I send you the playlist so you can continue whatever vibe you're on. If you're someone that's with someone and hoping for some things to happen, that playlist will get you there. So definitely follow me on Instagram at Beazus, and you will not be let down. I'll see you next Saturday.
Can you spell out your name? It's Bey.
Beyazus.
Okay, and that's your
Instagram handle.
yep. And so we're asking everybody if you can. That's it. Beyazus. It's on the screen. And so this was the conversation has been opinionated and outspoken with my girl Alia Bay. We had a great conversation on redefining love. If you want, like she said, you can catch her on Instagram. It's Beyazus on the 12th of February. She's having a great event, so you guys can follow her. Go to Instagram. She's there. Everything that's in the bio is gonna be great. Somebody said Mark Real for me, so they're ready. I believe she want to say mocktail, but mocktail for Alicia Small. Alicia Small said mocktail for me.
Oh, yes, mocktail, baby. I send a cocktail and a mocktail. You will not be disappointed.
Yes, everybody for watching. This has been a production, of course, of The Conversation. It's been great. We had a great evening. Tune again next week. Next week is going to be a deeper topic because we're talking about love, but love and gender.
I love it.
We're going to be talking about love and gender with two amazing guests, and it's going to be fire. But Alia, thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate you, and you have a great evening. Somebody said before we go, love isn't all about looks. I believe once you take your time to get to have some good conversation, getting to understand that person before developing feelings, then you will not focus on looks. In my opinion, only people who are confused go after looks. But I like looks. The first thing I see is looks.
The first thing you see is, I'm not gonna lie, that is the first thing you
That's
see.
what I see. When I say, I'm like, ooh, baby. Did you
But
see?
this person is right too. After some time, you gotta take the time.
Because I think when every time you're just looking at looks, you become a little bit like, what's going on? Is that all? But you're 100%. And I think even for the people who do it's all about looks, you realize at the end of the day, it's really not about looks because you want a companion. You want somebody who will love you. You want somebody who will be with you. But you can have some real beautiful and handsome people and they're crazy as hell. And then you can find some real ugly people and they're nice and sweet and they treat you so nice. You be like, can we get you surgery?
What? Oh my gosh.
But I said thank you, Alia. This was great. And I hope everybody have a great evening. Thank you so much for being here with us. And again, this was The Conversation. If you're not following us, we are on YouTube, The Conversation Outspoken Opinionated. Alia, you can say bye to the people because people are about to kick you out the broadcast because they're telling me it's time to go. But you have a good evening. I'll see you later. Okay.
Nice chatting with you guys.
So this is The Conversation Outspoken Opinionated. Of course, we are on YouTube, The Conversation Outspoken Opinionated. We are on Facebook, The Conversation Outspoken Opinionated, on Instagram. And of course, like I told you guys earlier, we are on Spotify and Apple Music. So you guys have an amazing, amazing evening. We'll see you next week, Thursday. Thank you so much for tuning in. And The Conversation Outspoken Opinionated. Thank you so much.